free. We have all realized that indeed in our recent history, not 100 years ago, it was recognized during that glorious revolution betwixt King James II and William of Orange that the people had a right. The people had a right to be heard, had a right to be recognized in their liberty to carry not only their religious opinion as they choose, but to show their concern for the current events and the present politics. And that is what this proclamation that we have engaged desires to do, to show that we, the people, have a right to be properly and directly represented, to show our concern for our sister colony and how well we expect that his lordship may indeed dissolve the representative body of the people, dissolve the House of Burgesses. And yet I'd let you in on a contrivance that we are hoping for, and that is, if his lordship closes down the House of Burgesses, dissolve the representative body of the people, we will continue to meet. And we will make an effort to propose amongst ourselves, be it in perhaps the Raleigh Tavern or otherwise, to move for a general Congress, that not only may Virginia and Massachusetts show its allegiance unto one another, but that, as we know, 2 heads are better than 1, that we might show 3 heads are better than 2, 4 heads better than 3, ultimately 13 heads to be shown coming together for not only our common safety and defense, but for the common good. And thereby let it be shown that in such an action we will show His Majesty's government that here in America united we stand against any further intrusion upon our rights.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Citizens, I do beg your pardon, I must readily admit. In my fervor to arrive here in your company and to offer freely my opinion, I have failed to offer my allegiance unto my government, as we have failed in kind. Well, we know we've been rather provoked of late, and therefore not so ready to show our allegiance, and I beg your pardon, particularly as a public servant, I should exemplify that loyalty and that allegiance, and thereby accordingly, God save the King. Well, that was about as hesitant and reluctant as I have ever heard it. Perhaps indeed this has been evidence that we have not been so loyal as we should be of late. Perhaps it is evident that we are rather concerned about what is happening in Massachusetts Bay. Indeed, I am happy to hear your response in a curious way. I would presume by now all of us have heard, for news doth travel slowly in what is essentially a 4-mile-an-hour world. But I would imagine that you all have now heard what did occur in Boston Harbor last December 1773. I'm referring, of course, to the destruction of 356 cases of tea thrown overboard of His Majesty's ships by a band of Mohawk Indians. Isn't that not what you heard?
That was it.
Atrocious. I can assure you that as an attorney, I cannot condone the destruction of private property. Oh, no. Oh, that is an act that none of us would care to suffer. No, as an attorney, justice, I believe, should be served. There must be restitution for the destruction of that private property. It is a crime, whether committed by a band of aborigines or the Sons of Liberty. And yet, citizens, the Sons of Liberty know well, as I can assure you I certainly do, and I hope many others, that there was a far greater crime committed in Boston Harbor. A far greater crime that has been committed throughout all of these colonies. I refer not to the crime of the destruction of private property. Rather, I refer to the crime conducted by our own government. Our own government engaging surely the crime of allowing specifically the price of the tea of the East India Company itself, no other tea company, the East India Company's price of tea to be lowered to such an extent that it could not possibly suffer any competition. Are we to ignore that crime being further enforced by our government allowing the support of the monopoly now of the East India Company, by allowing a surcharge to be placed on the price of that tea, that it might protect, defend, guarantee the investment, not only of the myriad of investors of the East India Company, but most particularly the investment of the board of directors of the East India Company, many of whom we know sit in His Majesty's Parliament and in the House of Lords. And I ask you, from whom was that surcharge in the form of a tax extracted? Was it extracted from the board of directors? No. Oh, nay, citizens, indeed. We know from whom that tax was extracted. From the free citizenry here in these colonies. And I ask you, were we consulted in the manner by which we were taxed?
No.
Hardly. We were kept in ignorance, and happily the more so for His Majesty's devices.